Welcome. In this video, we'll take a look at the Kickstarter pledge for Aeon's in Legacy of Gravehold. So to back or not to back, so that'll be my new segment here where I'm talking about Kickstarter pledges. I'll take a look into them to see if it's something that I'm going to purchase, if I've got the funds for it, and hopefully by doing that, it'll help you make a decision whether it's something for you or not. So off we go to Aeon's End. I'm doing this at lunchtime on a Friday, the 26th. So you can see we're already at over $330,000 of a $50,000 pledge, just under 3,000 backers with 13 days to go. Aeon's in. Full disclosure for me, I own pretty much everything for this game, except for a few promo cards probably. For deck building games, it's my favorite mechanic. About a year and a half ago, I think I did a video on my top 5 deck builders. This game was in there, and it really hasn't changed. It's staying up there as one of my favorite deck builders. And as far as solo play deck builders, it's probably my favorite. So there's my disclaimer. So does that mean it's an automatic back for me? Well, let's take a look and see here. So I've got the story that's just going over, hey, there's nemesis all around. We are breach mages trying to save our city. Things have changed. And this is bringing it all back in. So our mages find themselves in conflict with one another, and you must choose which group to fight with. So already throwing some decisions out there that might be different. Will be the Legacy of Gravehold. So looking at what we're going to get in this, we can see we've got some really neat players, so hopefully one day I can keep my board that organized. Ages 14 and up, 1 to 4 players, 60 minutes to play. So the one big new thing here is we've got the map here. So I'm assuming that has something to do with the choices we'll make through the campaign of this game, what sides we choose to fight for, and how that plays out. Really haven't seen much else on that. Real quick, we'll take a look over here and see that for $79, that gets you started in this with the Aeon's in Legacy of Gravehold and the Ruins expansion. There are a whole lot of other options here, and we'll get to that in a bit. So in here, it's a final Legacy chapter. So assuming this is going to be it for Aeon's in, backers will get double the content and narrative as you navigate through a civil war. And there's a lot of stuff in the last Legacy box, and honestly all their big box expansions have had a lot of stuff in it. So it's a cooperative deck building game for 1 to 4 players, plays in 60 minutes per chapter, and uses the same critically acclaimed deck building system introduced in Aeon's in. So the core features a number of innovative mechanics, including a variable turn order system that simulates the chaos of battle, and deck management rules that require careful planning. So some of the big differences in this game, if you haven't played it before, most deck building games, once you go through all your cards, you shuffle your discard pile and make a new deck. This one, you just turn it over. So as you discard cards, you can kind of plan how you're going to get them next. The thing I like the most about this is a variable turn order system. So instead of just going, I'm first player, go around the table, you've got some turn order cards in here. So every round, turn order is going to be different. So you can't really plan out your turns. It's just going to come up automatically, and you have to do the best you can. And that's one of my favorite things about this. So some other things, most games, as soon as you play a card, it immediately takes effect. And this, when you play your spells, you're going to attach them to one of these breaches here. And the next turn, they typically go off. And of course, each of our mages has their own variable player powers, so everyone's got different abilities that'll be going off. Going over how to play. What's new in this one? It's going to be an epic conclusion, so more than twice the narrative content, so it's really going to take you into the story. You will see returning fan favorites, so over 20 playable mages, so they are bringing back some mages we've seen in previous ones. They're just going to change up their abilities a little bit more. Nearly twice as many nemesis and 50% more supply cards, so a lot more content. See, the last wave in Gravehold story provides new legacy elements, lasting consequences for damage, so that's interesting. an experience system that allows for increased flexibility and full control of mage upgrades. So in the last one, you had stickers you'd put on your character as you upgraded. So interesting to see how they're going to change that experience system. Your choices change the narrative and lead to different battles. Your outcome in those battles will present different parts of the story, as well as access to different mechanics and elements for future games. So as with all of your Aeons End releases, nearly all of the legacy content can be combined with other Aeons Ends game. So that was something that really got me into this one. I hadn't done many legacy games, just because you play it once and you're done with it. Where this one, I'd say probably 90% of the stuff in it, you can take back out and play just in your normal Aeons End games. And this one's going to be, looks like the same. And if you want to replay it, they've got reset packs for the cards that get stickers or whatever to change that out. Kickstarter price, $79 with a retail value of $120. So the last Kickstarter or legacy game, I think that was a $70 box. This is going to be a $120 box, which makes sense because they're almost doubling all the components you're going to get. And I did a quick look online to see how they're selling. They're still sold out in most places, so it's hard to get a hold of the previous legacy game. So for $79, you get the new game, 21 envelopes full of mages and nemesis to discover. I think the last game had 8. That's what I'm thinking. And that one, 13 nemesis mats. So definitely more villains to go after. 21 mage mats. And like I said, all these, those names are familiar, but their abilities have changed. And that looks like a new symbol there too. So I don't know what that has to do. So something new. I'm sure the story will tell us what that means. Maybe it's the faction or the side they're fighting on. Over 900 cards. That's a ton of replayability content. So new market cards. New unique starter cards. The world map. I know absolutely nothing about this. So here, back up to those symbols. Looks like if you're fighting on the Azer team, that would be the blue symbol. That was looking up on this side and then up here. Looks like a track for the Gravehold side. So looks like we are choosing sides in this battle. So that's going to be interesting how this map component works. Life dials, card dividers, stickers for upgrades, our narrative books. So it looks like depending on which side we choose, we're going to change our story. Our breach tokens, which are needed. And then the milestone expansion, which I believe they've already met. So this is a small box expansion for the game. And then their milestones. They're making a difference between promo cards and Kickstarter exclusives, which is nice, even though the promo cards are hard to come across. I think I picked most of mine up from their last Kickstarter. So the game was funded. We've got new promo cards coming through. Let's see. New ruins, spells, treasures, more spells and gems, promo cards. So I'm sure they're going to be unlocking a lot more stuff. So now getting down to the rest of the pledge levels. Like I said before, $79 gets you the new content here. Then for $139, basically all these is going to get you the new stuff. This takes you back to different waves of releases. So they've come in 5 different waves. Like I said, I already have all this stuff. I can't imagine getting everything at once, but I'm trying to push, I think it's Brian over at the Game Brigade, trying to see if I can talk him into getting to buying everything. Honestly, though, if you're new to this, I'd probably recommend getting this and maybe one more wave. But if you want to go in and get the full collection, that is an option. So wave 1, you get Aeon's End 2nd edition. So the first edition, the cards were a little bit different design. So they stepped that up with the 2nd edition here. So you get the big base box and some small boxes. Wave 2, same thing. War Eternal, 2 more small expansions. Then the first legacy game, 1 small expansion. Then wave 4, you get the New Age, 2 small expansions. And then the recent Kickstarter, or the latest one was Wave 5, Aeons, and Outcast, and 2 small expansions. So like I said, my recommendation, if you love this game, you're probably going to go ahead and buy it. Just getting this. If you're new to it and you want to get the Legacy and one other expansion, I mean, any of these will do the job. Just me, I'd recommend Wave 1 just to get you started off, but any of them will work. So add-ons, we've got some play mats. If I had more table space, I'd definitely be picking up some of these, but I'm limited on space, so I don't think I've got room for them, but it's always nice to have play mats. Accessory packs gives you enough of the starter cards, I think, for all the heroes you'll get. Reset pack, if you plan on using this more than once. Promo pack for Outcasts. Accessory packs, just getting you all the promo stuff. This is probably the best way to pick it up. And going on down. So here an accessory pack giving you some dice and some tokens. More promos, then you get to shipping. With most Kickstarters, if you have the willpower to wait, you can probably get it from your shop or from an online retailer and not have to pay for shipping. So if you're like me, got to be one of the first to get it, I'm fine with paying $20 shipping. I'm just glad I'm here in this category instead of further down. So I guess I've kind of already told you whether I'm going to back this or not. Basically, it was getting close, but the tax refund check came back, and so I'll have enough to back this game. So like I said, just a quick recap. There is tons of stuff for this game. It's one of my favorite deck builders. You don't need to get a Legacy one. It is a good place to get started because it's going to start you off easier, and then difficulty increases as you move on. Like I said, if you're brand new to this, I would recommend possibly picking up one of the extra waves. So maybe $139 to get you the Legacy, one big box with the other expansions. That would be my recommendation. But we'll go ahead and spend some money here and back this project. So there we go. Another Kickstarter backed, and it's time to do some culling in my spaces back here. I am limited on space now, and so many Kickstarters coming out, it's time to do a cull at some point. So hopefully you got some information out of this. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. So please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.